Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's Combo Breaker 99. I'm back with another quick post-fight analysis video. All right, y'all, the main event from PFL last night, Kayla Harrison versus Genah Fabian. Oh, man. This is one of those fights, man, where, from the outside looking in, I can say, okay, why didn't this person do this? Why didn't they take advantage of this and that? But, there's really levels to this game, and it's not all just technical skills. It's not all just physical, like I've always talked about. And I think it really had something to do with, pressure, bright lights, and having never been here before. And I think that's what separated Kayla Harrison from Fabian last night. I think that Kayla Harrison, she's been here over and over. Though we talk about the competition, but which I'll talk about here in a minute. We talk about the competition of Kayla Harrison, but every time she gets in there, it's like another icebreaker for her. She's breaking through that ice, and she's getting to that next level. She's opening up her mind, and she's opening up her confidence more and more. And the more and more you get that type of experience and confidence, that will trump size or strength or striking advantage. Something like we thought Genah Fabian had in this fight. But Genah Fabian pretty much in this fight, I think it's safe to say that she just kind of shelled up and she kind of froze up in this fight. And it was Kayla Harrison who went in there with the same mind frame that she had in the past. It was like, look, I don't care who it is, how big you are, I'm gonna go in there and finish you. And it kind of takes me back to a lot of the boxing matches I watched back in the day, like the Mike Tyson factor, even the Ronda Rousey factor with her dominant reign. For Mike Tyson, it was, let's take some of his opponents back in the past. Everybody from Trevor Berbick to Frank Bruno, Carl the Truth Williams, fighters like this. If you put them in the boxing ring against each other, it'll make for like a 50-50 fight or a competitive fight. You know what I mean? Because they don't see that they have the same, they all kind of feel like they have the same skill set, and they don't have that same energy as that guy like Mike Tyson, that animal like him. But when they get in there with somebody like with somebody like Mike Tyson, they approach it different. Like you could put Carl the Truth Williams and Burt Cooper in the fight, and Carl Williams, he'll exceed. Rest in peace, Carl Truth Williams. He'll exceed. He'll go in there and try to knock Burt Cooper out, which he did when they fought. But you put him in there with somebody like Mike, his demeanor kind of changes. His jab doesn't have the same type of power because he's more so in survival mode. He's not in that same type of kill mode that Mike was. Him and Burt Cooper were much more similar. You know what I mean? So I think that's kind of what happened with Genah Fabian. She kind of had that different approach like she did against Laura Sanchez and who did she fight last? Pagic. She looked much more comfortable in there and willing to take chances and assert her jab and her stand-up. But in this fight, she just went on the back foot, never utilized her reach and her height. Again, similar to Amanda Nunes and Megan Anderson. You know what I mean? Megan Anderson, I think she was more so kind of in that like starstruck realm where it was like, I'm actually in here with Nunes. What do I do? And she kind of froze up in there. So real quick, just going back and looking at the round. I mean, just looking at the pace right away, Kayla Harrison, she took control of the center of the octagon, which is something I felt like Genah Fabian she should have did. Being a longer, tall fighter and the striker, you want to keep your back away from the fence. But Fabian, she was very hesitant from the jump. Again, obviously the longer, taller fighter, but she was just not using her reach. Not using a leg kick, not trying to use little quick athletic bursts. Those quick little speedy moments and use angles. So Kayla Harrison right away, she was waiting. She was waiting to see what she was going to bring, but she didn't see a jab, she didn't see a leg kick coming. So she just went in and said, okay, no more respect, time to disrespect. I'm gonna just rush in, take this big girl to the fence, and press her to the cage. And I'm gonna press her to the cage, use my strength. And the one thing I'll say is you can see in the face of Genah Fabian that she's never tasted that type of strength before. You could tell in her face that she never has. So Kayla Harrison pressed her to the fence, started landing some good knees on the inside, good knees to the body with one underhook, controlling the bigger woman. And I will say that Kayla Harrison, her inside fighting is definitely showing improvements. I think her ability to switch knees and clinch fight is showing now, especially against a bigger woman. This was some nice improvements that I saw. Finally, Kayla Harrison, she gets the spin and the takedown. She spins her away from the fence and takes her down. And in that side control, she's pretty much just putting that weight on her. So Kayla Harrison, she's working those left hands, quickly transitions to a full mount, transitions to an armbar attempt. And then Kayla Harrison, she lets go of the armbar. She starts landing a few strikes to kind of soften her up, goes right back to full mount, and just starts unloading ground and pound from here. She unloads ground and pound, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, man, the way uh, Genah Fabian's positioning it was looking right now, I think it's about over. But the ref, he was giving her a good 20, 30 seconds. She ate a lot of shots. Some of them weren't that hard, but he could see the body language of Genah Fabian. She was just shelling up. She turned her face away like she didn't want anymore. So he had to stop it. And I was just like, wow. Wow on two sides. Wow that, Kayla Harrison, she is graduating with each tier. She's continuing to, just continue that finishing streak, which I have to give her credit for. Now, the competition level is still growing. It's still growing. It's still growing. But, the wow on Genah Fabian's part, I'm just kind of like, wow, we can see one fighter look good and impressive against this style of competition or this level of fighter. But when it comes down to somebody that has this type of energy, it's just like they clam up. It's just like they clam up. And I think that Genah Fabian, she just had so many strengths going into this fight that could have gave Kayla Harrison trouble, similar to how Holly did to Ronda Rousey. If she would have just put a little bit more speed and angles and just used a solid jab and good forearms and, knees, this would have been a good fight. This could have been an upset. But, yeah, credit to Kayla Harrison, though, on her part for sure. Like I said, she's graduating. Like I said, she's definitely not a GOAT, but she's definitely graduating from the tier that she's at, and that's what you want to do. You want to graduate from that tier, cut back on the trash talk, and just continue to improve as a fighter, which is something I think she's doing. She's just kind of playing up to the camera too much with all this talk. Like, please stop talking about Izzy. Please stop talking about Izzy can't stop your takedowns. You're not going to fight Izzy. I think that type of trash talk puts you in a realm where you get overconfident, kind of like how Ronda Rousey, couldn't keep Floyd Mayweather's name out of her mouth. So that's the type of trash talk I don't want to hear. Like, if you want to keep it on the realm of Nunes, Cyborg, keep it there, because eventually those fights will come, and we could probably see Kayla Harrison fighting Amanda Nunes sometime, maybe in a year and a half from now, or Chris Cyborg, within next year. You know what I mean? So those are the names I want to hear. Please stop talking Izzy. That don't do anything for me to make me think you're any tougher. You know what I mean? I just want to see you progress in the sport with WMMA like you're doing now. So yeah, credit to Kayla Harrison, definitely showing some improvements, but definitely want to see her step up to another level. And I know she's talked about this. She said that, look, if PFL doesn't have any more names or any more competition for her, she wants to step out the box to something else, and let that be Chris Cyborg then, or fight in Bellator, fight some names in Bellator, build up that Chris Cyborg fight, graduate to the next tier, But shout out to Genah Fabian. Like I said, she's definitely a tough fighter on another level, on the lower level. Like I said, she's kind of like those fighters in the past, until they get in there with the Mike Tyson, and I think that's just something that she's going to have to grow with, and that's not technical, that's mental. You have to break that ice. You have to be able to break that ice and step out the box, deal with pressure, deal with anxiety. And yeah, that's just a part of the game. That's why I say, like, fighting in the gym and fighting on the big scene, two different things. Something that Floyd Mayweather proved on why he's one of the best, one of the best of all time. Because he's able to go in there on the biggest platform and do what he does his way. So yeah, man, let me know in the comment section what y'all think from here. What do y'all think of Kayla Harrison's performance? Did she graduate to the next tier for y'all? Is she ready for those levels or of a Nunes or Chris Cyborg? I don't think so. I think she just has to work her way up to that level and then eventually get that fight. But let me know, guys. Combo Breaker 99. I'm out. Subscribe. Peace.